totally confused when I tried to check in at 10 because he said that they were expecting me. They had a reservation for me, but it wasn't until later that evening. So I just let that go, right? Not going to challenge that because at that stage I had had quite a bit of spiritual experiences, and I was also very well aware because I was getting downloads about fear and letting fear run away, and the perils and the dangers involved in fueling fear. So I just kind of like, observed that comment had been made, and he had this look on his face, like just totally puzzled, right? And obviously I'm thinking like, well, how can this possibly be? But anyways, unless of course something had been planned, which is probably very much the case, to cause harm to me. But and harm did befall on me, but we'll get to that. So anyways, I went there and I had a shower. Now we're going to get into the meats of it all. I was in there for about 6 hours, and then I had sent a note to my now ex-spouse, and it was about me devoting my life more to God, right? And the mission there. And that note was sent off to the police because I suppose my partner, the concern was my mental health, I suppose, right? I didn't get that at all from what I wrote at all. I think that was totally unwarranted, but especially when I'm saying I'm going to devote my life to God. But anyways, that happened, and the police, they came and they forced themselves into the hotel room, and then they, long story short, they detained me under the Mental Health Act. Okay. I went peacefully, of course, peace the whole time, right? I'm smart enough to know when to roll with the punches. So I went peacefully. And I had received a message on TikTok before this happened, though, suggesting that something like this was going to happen, and that my angels would help me get out of there, or angels would help me get out of this situation. I just had to wait for the signal. And that was an interesting experience too. There's so much information. I don't know if this is supposed to get out, really. I'm going to have to write a book, guys. But long story short, I ended up in the hospital. The hospital there, the people were evil. I overheard the doctor make a comment to me, or make a comment to the nurse, saying that they really were hoping to put on a fresh pair of horns that night. I mean, who says that, right? Obviously, I hear that. I'm thinking, okay, now what the heck's going on, right? So anyways, they didn't have me there for any reason with merit. They did also try to give me a new health card, which was really interesting because I've got Medicare, right? So wherever this place was, for some reason, they needed to give me a new Medicare card or a new card or a new number. But when I had heard that comment with the fresh pair of horns, and based on what I know about the end days and stuff, is that there's like this number of the beast that you can't accept. So I was kind of wary of, I suppose, of that. So I declined accepting this card, and I ended up, they wouldn't let me leave, but they had no right to detain me either. And so eventually because of a message that was revealed to me about the angels beforehand, I decrypted that message, and I ended up acting on that, and I ended up leaving, just walking out of that hospital. Now the hospital, they had locked the doors, but I just turned off the power to the doors and walked out the doors. So now, I'm outside of the hospital, right? And I had all my stuff back at the hotel, right? And the reason why my stuff was back at the hotel is I also had received messages on TikTok beforehand that when it comes time, it's easier if you just leave everything behind. And so, and that coincided to what I came to understand with, the gospel is that it's easier for like a camel to get in through the eye of a needle into heaven than it is for a rich man. So, that resonated with me. And so I ended up leaving my stuff there because I felt like I didn't know what was coming, right? And anyways, so I went to this, I got out of the hospital, and then all I had on me was my motel key. And I ended up tossing that motel key, right? So then to get out of that place, though, it was like what? I think it was 11 o'clock at night at that stage, right? And 11 o'clock at night at that stage. And something I became aware of on my way into town the night before is that the stars moved. And I could see them differently. They didn't look like stars anymore. They looked like halos, like angels. So I look at these stars now, and I see angels when I look at them. And they're moving. They were moving. And anyways, so yeah, part of getting out of this place was kind of interesting because I wasn't aware of my whereabouts, right? And I didn't have my phone on me because I had left it behind. And so to get out of this place, I had to rely on the stars, the angels above, and they led me out of this place, which was really profound because there was always one star brighter than the other, but they took turns being the brightest when they needed to, and they moved, which was really interesting. And if I'm going to be completely honest, though, the place that I was walking out of, they kept changing the layout of the land to confuse me, which was really interesting. So I think, look, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I think where I ended up was hell for some reason. I think I was tricked into going there. But anyways, I ended up there. And on my way out of heaven or hell, I needed angels to help me get out of this mess because it was like a maze. They kept shifting around. Like I couldn't see the shifting happening, but it wasn't the same path that I walked in, same layout that I walked into earlier that day. It was completely different. And so, but following the angels in the sky, in the night sky, I was able to get out of there and back onto that road. And nobody stopped me. Now, something I haven't even told you guys about either is that on that road, on the way into the town, and on that road on the way out, I would have trucks that would drive by with these white high beam lights, and they would drive by. I've got a spider on me, and they were really interesting.